Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation 5 review. Today I'm taking a look at Football Manager 2024 Console Edition for the PlayStation 5. Right, okay, well, last year, or should I say right at the beginning of this year, we finally got to experience Football Manager on the PlayStation. We hadn't had a proper Football Manager game on a console for such a long time, and it'd been a gripe of mine for many, many years. It was supposed to come late last year, Football Manager 2023, but there was an issue with Sony that they managed to get sorted out, so we got it earlier this year. I did cover it on the channel. I did a review for Football Manager 2023, and it's a game I have put literally countless hours into. I love playing the Football Manager games. As you know, if you follow my content on the channel, I do a lot of film reviews, so I will literally be kind of playing the Football Manager game while I'm watching a movie quite a lot of the times, or something like that. It's just such a chilled out, relaxed game for the most part. So we've got the newest version now, Football Manager 2024. Is this worth picking up if you are already an avid player of Football Manager 2023? Is it very much more of the same? Well, I think there is an argument here to suggest if you are enjoying Football Manager 2023 and you're wondering if it is really worth spending, £40 or something like that to upgrade to Football Manager 2024, I'd probably say wait for a sale, if I'm being particularly honest. Is there wholesale changes this time round? No. But there are some changes, and we shall talk about those. So, I mean, immediately as soon as you go into Football Manager, you are given a number of options. Now, I would suspect that most people, certainly I do, go straight into, obviously, the Football Manager career mode. But there's other things that you can do. You can do, the scenario things and the build a club sort of thing. I don't really play with them modes, but there's some of you out there may well do that. But let's talk more really about the real meat and two veg of this game, which is the Football Manager career mode. So you'll go into the career mode. It'll ask you if you've got experience playing Football Manager. You can answer yes or no, obviously. And then you can create your own manager. You can create yourself or create a real life manager. It's really up to you. And then you thrust into the game as soon as you choose a club to manage. Now, I'm a Man United fan. No horrible comments in, thank you very much, guys, but I always choose Man United Football Manager. Go straight into it, and it is very, very similar to last year's game. I'm not going to lie, there is definitely not massive sweeping changes here, but immediately as soon as you go into the game and the season starts, the game kind of asks you to choose from 3 principles out of 10. So you've got 10 choices and it asks you to choose 3 of them. And these principles will essentially dictate what you kind of expect from your team, the kind of manager that you are. So you've got things like teamwork, respect, resilience, things like that. So you can kind of choose what you want your team to kind of reflect and what you expect from your team. So all that kind of stuff, which is new. We didn't have that last time, and it is quite nice to have these options sort of thing. There is also as well, when you get into the game, there's like a new set piece routine, which again is quite nice. It gives you a real like in-depth choices on how you want your set pieces done, who takes them, what position you want them in, so on and so forth. And it goes through certain options and certain questions, and it will ask you them. And it actually does feel like it makes a difference in the match engine, the set pieces as well, whereas set pieces in the other game, they were neither here nor there really, but it does feel to have a little bit more of an impact on the match engine than the set pieces with the decisions that you make. Another thing that the game does that is vastly different as well, and I really quite like this is probably my favourite part, is you are kind of given like scenarios, certain scenarios throughout the season. It might be a scenario like this player is training poorly, or this player is doing something else, and it gives you options as to what you want to do, how you want to approach it. It could be, do you discipline the player if he's training poorly, or do you take him to one side and have a chat with him, see if that'll work? And it gives you certain options to choose from. And it's like some players will really approve of the decision you've made and some won't. So the players that approve of it, they've really bought into your philosophy sort of thing, and they're really on your side. And there's other players that are kind of moving away because they don't necessarily agree with your decision. I just think it makes it feel more real world, like it makes it feel like the players that you're managing are real people, making real mistakes or really trying to get your attention to get in the team. And it definitely has made an improvement, I think, over last year in those aspects. Everything else, for the most part, for me, feels very, very similar to last year. However, definitely there has been an improvement on the match engine. I've always thought the match engine was pretty decent. I mean, I've played this on Xbox Series S before, Football Manager 22 and 21. So I'm familiar with the match engine. I'm very familiar with the last match engine on the PlayStation 5 from 2023. But this time round, it just feels a little bit slicker. It feels like the footballers run a little bit more realistically. They're a bit faster. They can catch up other players and that kind of stuff. And they do like different tackles, and it just feels a little bit more realistic than it did last year. It's only subtle, but if you've played as many games as I did on 2023 on this game, you definitely notice the difference from watching the match engines. Everything else is the same, really. The halftime talks is the same. The shouts from the side, you can kind of shout at your team and tell them to focus or to fire them up or to praise them. You could change the mentality of your team to, more attacking, all that kind of stuff. You can still do all your subs, everything like that. So there's not a great deal of difference there. Another issue that I had with last year's game was it just felt like VAR, every goal that you scored practically, there was like a VAR decision, or there were loads of penalties and there was a VAR decision all the time. While I've not obviously played as many games this time round as certainly in 2023 yet, it feels like they've reeled that in a little bit to make it feel a little bit more realistic in sense to VAR. So for me, I do think definitely the match engine is a little bit better and it feels a little bit more realistic for me. And it looks pretty good as well. So I'm pretty happy for the most part with this game. I think for me, the biggest letdown, not just of this game, but of last year's game as well, is I'm just not keen on the transfer system. I think to be honest, the more I do play this game and the more I kind of try and do transfers, I just think it sucks. And they've kind of done it on purpose, and they may well argue differently, but from my perspective, it's clearly been done because, for example, my first season as Manchester United manager on Football Manager 2023, my budget for my first season was 6 million. And this is Manchester United, do you know what I mean? And that's because in the PlayStation Store, it has microtransactions. You can spend up to something like £4 and it'll give you £200 million budget or something like that. Or you can spend £4 and get like your dream player. You can choose any player in the world and they will immediately be transferred to your team. And there's other things you can do as well that you end up paying money for. Some of them you can unlock by getting achievements in the game, but not like, increase of the budget or get a star player and that kind of stuff. For me, it just kind of takes a little bit of realism away from the game, because the transfer system is just so hard to negotiate. And get the players that you want. That's my only real criticism, really. I think if they loosened that up a bit and made it a little bit more accessible, I think I would have very little to complain about here about Football Manager. So from my perspective, guys, I think this is, if you haven't played Football Manager 2023, if you didn't even know it existed on PlayStation, but you're a big fan of Football Manager games, then it's a no-brainer. Pick this one up. For the rest of you, it's not massively different to last year, and if you're still enjoying 2023, then I would wait for a sale for this one. But definitely, I know that this game I will be putting in so much time. I mean, I think I've put over 300 hours into Football Manager 2023. It's just such a great game. I don't even know how many seasons I've done, because I'm one of these players that I'll play about 4 or 5 seasons and then I kind of start again, and I'll either choose a different team or I'll choose the same team and I'll try and do it a bit different and buy different players. It's just so addictive, and for me it is just so wonderful to have Football Manager back on PlayStation. It's something I've been crying out for a long time, and it is just so enjoyable, and I'm very thankful to have it back. So let me know in the comments, guys. Are you thinking of picking up Football Manager 2024? Did you enjoy Football Manager 2023? And don't forget, obviously, if you've liked the video and it's been useful, please click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And of course, I will be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very soon.